Is boxing news. What else? The WBC, that's the World Boxing Council to you and me, wants heavyweight champ Evander Holyfield to fight Mike Tyson as his first title defense. But Holyfield, you see, as we all know, is going to fight George Foreman in April. So the WBC is going to arbitration to try and force Holyfield to see things their way. If the WBC wins the arbitration and Holyfield fights Foreman instead of Tyson, then he would be stripped of the WBC title. If that is the case, the WBC belt would go to the winner of the Tyson-Razor Ruddock fight, March 18th.
A punch thrown by Razor Ruddock knocked out Bone Crusher Smith for 7 minutes. Mike Tyson couldn't even knock Smith down. Another punch laid out Michael Dokes for 12 minutes. Dokes may never fight again. A lot of fighters won't get in the ring with Ruddock, but then who in their right mind would? Tyson versus Ruddock, live from the Mirage, March 18th. See it on pay-per-view cable TV.
The future heavyweight champion. It's an arguable area. On March 18th, he's fighting Donovan Razor Ruddock in Las Vegas. Here's a taste of what this man does when he goes to work.
In there tonight, all determination. Nails him with the right hand. Stewart able to fend that one up. His legs are totally shot. Just barely grazes him with the left uppercut. Stewart trying to hang on to the head. Tyson is just measuring him. Catches him with another left hook and another left hook. It's all Tyson here in round number 1. 53 seconds remaining in the first round. Tyson can smell the kill, and he's going after it. Wild with the right hand as Mikey catches him with a left hook. He's down, and it's all over. Iron Mike Tyson.
What's up, man?
Hey, I'm just hanging, man. Just hanging. Does it bother you that you're about to fight a man named Razor?
Not at all. Not at all, man.
Now, you probably read some of the stuff in the press. A lot of people are saying that you ducked this guy. You really didn't want to fight this guy. Address that.
Yeah, I mean, that's silly. You know what I mean? Picture me not wanting to fight some human being. The fact of it was I was sick, you know what I mean? And I was sick. And regardless of the fact if I could afford him or not, or my condition, you know what I mean, I wasn't 100%.
Yeah. Is he a good fighter?
Yeah, he's a good fighter.
But you aren't worried, are you?
I'm not worrying about losing to him.
A guy like Razor Ruddock, how do you approach that kind of fight?
You know, he's a good fighter, basically. He's good. He moves, he jabs. You know what I mean? Basically, I'm just going to take it right to him. He's going to find out what he's really made of.
How many rounds should I plan on?
I'm not a predictor, but you know what I mean? I'm going to take it to him. We're going to find out if he's bad as everyone says he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You study the game. You watch films and videos and stuff of the past fighters?
Yeah, I know a little about the game.
Yeah. Now, when you look at old stuff, what do you look at?
I mean, you just look basically at the mentality of them, you know what I mean? Because basically people in general think the styles make fights, which I don't agree. I believe is mostly morality, you know what I mean? You can have the perfect style to beat this guy, but this guy's tenacity and his ferociousness, and he wants it bad enough, he overcomes and overlooks basic all styles or whatever, you know what I mean? It's basically, I believe personally, when there's two men fighting, there's only, you know what I mean, the battle of wills and skills, unless the skill is so overwhelmingly advanced in the guy's will, then it's a difference. But, you know what I mean, it's all about who wants it more. Like you say, the best the talk show host is probably in jail or probably taking care of his girlfriend because she got her pregnant or something, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's the person who wants it more. You know?
There's a guy named Ice Pick Carson who could wear me out somewhere, you know? But he's in jail, you know? The night Buster Douglas fought and lost, where were you?
I was training for a fight as well.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched the fight.
And what were you thinking while you were watching him out of shape, ill-prepared, on the canvas?
I was saying, basically, in a situation like that, more or less you run into situations, you run into comedians. For example, one night
Stop
they
using
get
me
up.
in this,
No,
man. Leave me out of this.
You can relate to it better when I use you.
Okay.
I'm sure you've seen a comedian for one night. He rose to the occasion. He was humble. You talk about God. Then every time you see him after that, he's a dud. What happened? He used the same lines and I said, like, they're not thoroughbreds. They can't last through the storm. They can only get up one night, maybe another night, a year from now, 10 years from now, he'll get up again. But, those guys don't last long. They get a big bubble and they get a nut and they score. But other than that, the only thing that matters is longevity. There's been people with talk shows, people that we know. I don't know if I mention their names. I don't want. They host a show for a little while, then boom, canceled.
Yeah.
They're not around no more. Just like fighters, they bubble bust.
Yeah. Are you angry at yourself for letting that happen? The situation with Buster Douglas?
I'm not angry at myself. I'm angry because I didn't allow myself to be in that position. You know what I mean? Of believing, because you write your own press clippings. You write yourself that you write, well, maybe I am invincible. You know what I mean? Then you slack when you take your skills for granted, perhaps. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? More or less, you know what I mean? That I'm happy because my whole theory about people in general, because you read these stories and people tell you, yo, you treat me like this now, but when you lose, nobody's gonna be in your locker room but me. But it wasn't like that. When I went to that situation, around 30,000 people were at the airport. They came, and I was like, oh, I didn't want to see them. I was like, God, get away. People would call, and I found out a lot about myself in a situation like that. People would call just to see how I was doing. Nobody was calling and asked, oh, I got bad bills. Can you help me pay my bills, turn my lights on, or something crazy like that? They called caring and concerned, and me feeling that way because I never was in that position before. So at that level, so I would never talk to people. You know what I mean? Because I used to want the pity. You walk it like you talk it, regardless. If you fall in your butt, you just get back up.
Yeah, your
no
mistake.
man should be pitied.
Yeah, your mistake with Buster. Did you make it in the ring and in training? Did you slack up on training too?
Absolutely. Basically, it's all behavior and how you think. Life in general, like, again, I don't mean to deter, like a talk show. If you don't study, you know what I mean? It's just part of behavior. You get by one night, then you feel you can get by everything, but you're deteriorating yourself little by little. And it's all, like, discipline's another word, but it's just behavior, the way you conduct yourself.
Yeah. I saw your baby as I was about to walk on. Has that changed your life a lot, made you a better person?
Like, I'm gonna do one of Johnny Carson's. It's wild. Isn't that wild? Like, when you see that kid?
Yeah, and it
God,
looks
it's
just
wild.
like you, man.
It's wild.
That was an awful Johnny Carson impression.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do
That's
impressions.
why I'm on your show, though.
Yeah. Ouch. I'm sure it's made you happier and changed your whole existence, though.
Absolutely. You know, you really can't explain it because you become more or less under the weather. Like, you don't know how to respond to it. It's like it's your first experience. And it takes me up. And then sometimes, like, he's out the house and he's sleeping. My friends come on, they knock on the door. I said, yeah, man, cool out. My son's sleeping. I was like, holy Christ, I got a son. I don't believe I said that.
Yeah. You named the baby after someone very special?
Yeah, I did because it was a lot more than just him teaching me how to fight and just throw a punch. It was more of a independence. You know what I mean? His main objective, because many times when you're young, because I started fighting young, many times you quit.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, let's explain to them who this figure is in your life.
All right, Customato, who was a gentleman who adopted me when I was approximately 12 years old. And the theory was I wanted to have, when my first child I get after he passed away, I said, I'm going to name my son after him to show him the respect I had for him because of the fact that he always wanted me just to have independence, more than money, more than just to be the champion. He said, if I make you champion, you know what I mean, I made you champion, but I want to make you independent when you don't need anybody no more, when you can handle your own business, when you can handle yourself. And then that's the main objective. Like, everybody needs independence for themselves.
Thank you. We'll take a little commercial. We'll come back and talk some more.
Yeah, we talk some more.
I don't think you see it that way. We were just here talking about Mike Tyson as a father. That would make you study, wouldn't it? Are you a tough father?
Yeah, I was a tough father.
Wow. But see, it's good you have a little boy. But you'll probably have a girl one day. You want a girl?
You know, don't want no more kids.
Okay, we'll move on to another
You gotta
question.
deal with those mothers, man.
Oh,
God.
yeah. Are you having problems with his mom?
No, he has a great mother, but you know what I mean? Problems do occur, and like you say, with relationships, you know what I mean? It's just difficult. I'm good to have as a companion or something. You know what I mean? But as far as like a relationship as a boyfriend, husband, I'm not cut out. You know what I mean? You should just be my companion. We just hang out a lot and go places and let me be nice to you.
Yeah.
Let me go where I gotta go.
Only half the audience
I
clapped.
know. I'm not looking for any applause. I'm just telling you how I feel about the situation. And they know too.
Yeah, and even the ones that didn't clap smiled at you because it's Mike Tyson. You know, it's like, yes, Mr. Tyson. What's the biggest misconception about Mike Tyson?
Basically that I'm irate. That, you know what I mean? That it's easy for me to get upset and base, and perhaps because of my occupation, people basically think that I'm cold. You know what I mean? But it's not true. But my main objective, and people in general, and people think I'm abusive to women for some crazy reason. Only what abuse? I beat them up with $100,000 gifts and stuff like that. Yeah, right. I'm abusive. Yeah, tell me about it. It's just ridiculous. The only thing, my main concern is, you know what I mean? I just want people, my peers, as far as the fighters is concerned, because really that's a big point. That's really what counts. You know what I mean? What your peers think. Peers understand what it takes to get to that pinnacle of success. Like people that's fighting and he's not champ yet and he's just a top. He said, God, it's hard to get in. This guy's up there and he was only 18, 19 years old. He's on the top of his game. He said, God, I've been doing this for 10 years. You know what I mean? And that's the respect because they understand because they're reaching for that goal. Just like a young actor or else.
Or talk show
comedian.
host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do? How do you do that, actually? What the hell you do? Just show me. I got good jokes, but how you get them across? Like guy said, Mike, I've been fighting all my life, but how you win?
Yeah.
How you win?
Yeah. When you leave the boxing game, what do you want to do? I've seen you in everybody's video. You in every video, Mike. I saw you in Ice-T's video, and right after that they played Jazzy Jeff Fresh Prince video. You was in that, and there was Liza Minnelli video. You in that. You in everybody's video. What are you going? You gonna get in show business?
I don't know. Like people offer me parts about like a story and situation, but I'm not interested. I like the children. I probably want to be a foster parent or something. I was working in a retarded institution. I used to like hanging out with the guys. They're pretty cool, the kids.
Yeah. Would you like to take young fighters and teach them the things that Cuss used to teach you?
I wouldn't want to. I'd probably be a horrible trainer per se. Like kids that go in the ring and get smashed.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about. I would like just to talk to fighters or something. Just tell me. It's more than because everyone's not going to be the best fighter in the world. Everyone's not going to be the best basketball player. But just to take the drive that you have, and you could be anything. You could be a nuclear scientist. You could be anything. And just you always never give up, because as long as you're alive, you can always accomplish something. You just never give up. We got to give up. In many situations, you never give up. Never give up. Never let no one put that upon you that you must give up. That life is the end, that you want to hurt yourself or kill yourself, because nothing's that important. And anybody that strives and work hard, even though it seems harder, but as long as you're working, something's going to happen. You'll always have more than what you started off with.
Yeah. Don King was here, and he said that George Foreman would beat Evander Holyfield. Do you believe that?
I really don't believe that, personally. I don't believe that, no.
How should Evander approach the fight?
He should just, the way he fights, he'll run around and he'll wait to catch with a clean shot, and then once he hurt him, he'll probably throw a bunch of punches and knock the whole guy out. But then again, I've been wrong many times on fights. I've been more wrong.
When is the last time you were wrong?
The last fight I picked was Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh, with Mr. Norris. Wow. Okay, well, let's talk to Evander again, because I know he's watching. How should Evander approach the fight between Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson?
Just leave the titles in the ring and get them to me and stay home.
Come on, it won't be that easy.
Yeah, I'm not saying, but it wouldn't be a win for him. And I respect Evander. I respect him also because it's a great Christian belief. But this is our business, and unfortunately, it's the hurt business. So, you know, in a business like this, people say you're cold and oblivious to people's feelings. It's not true. It's just that, you know, you have to be very unemotional. You just have to be unemotional. You know me very well. I'm no barbaric maniac, but, you know, just...
You give $100,000 gifts.
Hey, I could be a sucker.
No.
You never know.
No, I think you've just, like any other man, been in love.
Many of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you shop too quick. I told you that. You got to wait just a little bit.
You told me to shop around, right? Yeah. I was shopping around.
But I didn't say for her. I said for you, shop around, you know. No, you're just a very generous man. But, so how are you going to fight Evander? When you come into the ring, what's going to be on your mind?
Basically, the way I fight is to take it to him. I just want, you know what I mean, basically, you know what I mean, I just oppose my will upon somebody. You know what I mean, if you win, you know what I mean, you just gotta see you be a better man, which I doubt. But I just want to strive on it. I want to win, you know what I mean? People like, my friends, like, you know what I mean, back home, they just don't understand it. Like, we're all young, we hang out, and we like to go to clubs, you know what I mean, act crazy. But, you know, you don't understand, I'm a very serious individual when it comes to my job. Like, they'll probably go home and they go to work or do whatever else. They're rich kids and they're spoiled brat. But I'm a very serious individual.
And the last time you lost your serious attitude towards your work, something bad happened.
Yeah,
So you probably really learned a lesson.
Grabbing for my mouthpiece.
Yeah. When you watch that moment, what do you think about? Do you watch that fight?
Yeah. Hey, just a learning experience. I don't take it personal.
Yeah.
I gotta watch it. You know what I mean? You can't take it. Once you take something personal and you get involved emotionally, you can no longer perform on the high level that you normally perform because you're involved with the situation. There's some guys that never, like, if you're mad, you could be 100 pounds and you could see guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and those guys. The little guy, he'll get mad, so he's emotional, he's mad, so he'll fight him. He don't care. If you're in a ring with somebody and this guy never did anything to you, how do you fight this guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't. And suppose all of a sudden now, I'm mad, I'm gonna get him. You're already in a fight, so what? You're mad. What are you gonna do? You're already in a fight.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by and talking, man.
Hey,
I really appreciate it. And continued success. Good luck, man. We'll be back with Lucy Arnett.
Ruddock. Ruddock. 2 straight knockouts. Big left hand, too. Almost killed Michael Douglas. Everybody's saying I'm making a big mistake. Tokyo. Ruddock.
Tyson versus Ruddock. Live from the Mirage, March 18th. See it on pay-per-view cable TV.
With more fury and more bad intentions than ever before. Coming up, Mike Tyson, like you've never heard him before. Up close. When he was 10 years old, he was small for his age. He had a little voice and a lisp. The kids used to call him Little Fairy Boy. He was an easy victim of the predators in the urban jungle, Brownsville, New York. Back then, even girls beat him up. Today, just a few months short of his 25th birthday, Mike Tyson is a grown man with a lifetime full of turmoil and exhilaration and tragedy, success, and despair. He is 39-1, 35 knockouts. The only blemish on his record, the astounding defeat at the hands of Buster Douglas. He'll likely never get to avenge. But Mike Tyson wants more than the title now. Like Lewis and Leonard before him, he wants to overcome his first defeat with a terrifying, convincing performance. Might it come a week from today when Tyson steps into the ring with a much bigger fighter named Donovan Razor Ruddock? A fighter some insiders claim Tyson tried to duck before the Douglas fight. Today, we'll talk to the unknown commodity, as some have labeled him, Mike Tyson, about humility, about bad taste, alibis, the critics, and the realities of racism. With the #1 contender in the heavyweight division, Michael Gerard Tyson, up close.
Let's take a quote from Bishop Sheen, who said of humility, The world says that at this moment, the moment of humility, a man is at his worst. But actually, in the moment of humility, a man is at his best. Man is at his worst if he falls into despair, but he is at his best if he is humbled. Do you feel you are better for having been humbled with Buster Douglas?
You know, it's funny that you say that because some people say, well, you're different now. It's better. It's good now. You have more humility in your life. And I said, well, you know what I mean, no one ass whooping is just going to, you know what I mean, give me humility. You know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean, that happened. You know what I mean? I'm still the same person, basically. You know what I mean? It's just that you took it in a perspective. You know what I mean? And when things like that happen, you change your behavior because you believe that to be in an awkward position is because of your behavior, your constant behavior, and they caught up with you.
Well, you know boxing history. Sugar Ray Leonard, Joe Louis, they all came back strong from their first defeat. But Joe Frazier, Sonny Liston, George Foreman did not. They were the big punchers. Do you feel that because of a loss, you can even subconsciously become a little more tentative because you are no longer invincible?
Not at all. You know what I mean? I believe that's all frame of mind. You know what I mean? Basically, life in general is just frame of mind. You know what I mean? Nothing is worse as the imagination makes it. Nothing. Nothing is worse. The individual in front of you, anyone in general, life in general, even dying. I believe, you know, your imagination make it worse than it really is.
It's part of that fear issue we talked about so many years ago. People talk about a kinder, gentler Mike Tyson through this humility. I don't know if that's true. I know that you're being more sensitive to other people these days, or that's reported in the New York Times, but gentler, I'm not sure. Let's take a look at this promo for Showtime. I don't know if this is the kinder, gentler Mike Tyson we've heard or read about. Take a look and listen.
March 18th, Mike Tyson, Razor Ruddock. Razor Ruddock dies. If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not dead, it doesn't count.
Now, that outraged a few people. I know you didn't mean it literally, but people don't understand that. They see this savage, this guy who wants to kill Razor Ruddock in the ring. You sorry for saying that?
No, because that's my frame of mind. That's my mentality of, you know what I mean, of my game. You know what I mean? Regardless, you know what I mean, I don't mean to offend people, but that's, you know what I mean, that's me. That's the way I am. That's when I fight. You know what I mean? That's just my whole aura. That's
but you don't do it for the bombast. You do it because you're in that frame of mind. In other words, you're not doing it to boast. You're not doing it to sell tickets, particularly.
Not at all. This is actually how I feel.
Yeah. Let's talk about Razor Ruddock for a few moments. Obviously, the fight coming up March 18th, Monday night. We'll take a look at some video of him. There are some people who suggest you have very little to gain by fighting a guy who could be a tough character. I mean, a guy's got a tremendous left hook. He's been in a situation where, you know, obviously he tore apart people that we've seen before. Do you feel that in some ways this is a fight that may be ill-advised right now at this point, your comeback trail?
Well, believe me, I had my big nights, and I was successful on my big night. Let's see what happens with him on his big night.
You are wary of the left hook, are you not?
Yeah, I'm not at all. I'm never.
Dokes was the guy I was trying to think of, by the way. There he is. He almost killed Dokes. Talk about dying.
Well, look at Michael Dokes' position. I know by any chance you don't think Michael Dokes is a better fighter now than when he was champion by any chance. They still have those names, you know what I mean? It's just basically when you see a fighter and you see he got beat, you say, well, he beat such and such. And you think of, you normally think of the fighter because of his name. He beat a guy who was, at this particular stage, a great fighter, but really he wasn't.
Let's take a clip. We have a clip from Razor Ruddock talking about you and talking about the upcoming. Now, obviously, a lot of these guys are trying to sell tickets as well, trying to say things to stir it up a little bit, but he said some fairly unkind things about you and about the fight, and how he has no fear of you. Here's Razor Ruddock.
Tyson doesn't believe it himself, saying it's going to be a easy fight. The reason why is that he switched back and forth when he won. So he said, oh, it's going to be a tough fight then. But you see, you have to build up his confidence. You have to say it to himself. You have to say it over and over that it's not going to be a tough fight. It's not going to be as tough as people say it is. But deep down inside, you know it's going to be hell.
Do you know it's going to be hell?
I'm prepared for anything. You understand he's a good fighter, but hey, we'll see.
The big boy.
Yeah.
Right? 6'3", 6'4", 235, a lot heavier, 20 pounds heavier than you. But you fought big boys before.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Is it true that, that you felt you were relieved to lose the title? That's what you were quoted as saying in the New York
Yeah,
Times.
it's
What do you
true.
mean by that? You're a guy that loved the title. You loved to be champion.
Exactly. I said it from a perspective of, you know what I mean, you just, you know what I mean, because from my experience of, because I was never in that position, my experience, you watch television and you hear, you say, as soon as you lose, they all leave you alone and they go somewhere else. And so I said, good, now, you know, I can relax and recoup. But it wasn't that way. It was totally different. And in other
That
words,
blows my mind, Mike. I mean, you're a guy that you lived to be the champion of the world at some point. I mean, that's what you, the Marciano record, all of these things, and yet you were relieved to lose the title?
But you have to understand what I'm saying. It gave me a chance to recruit of basically, you know what I mean, because of my situation at the time. You know, it was just, my life was under a microscope, basically. And unfortunately, nothing changed. I thought it would change.
So the whole process of losing the title, and we're going to take a look at the sparring session before the Douglas fight, where you got knocked down. Maybe subconsciously you were leading yourself up for a loss, in the fact that you didn't train as well, perhaps, that you were a little sluggish, you weren't the... So maybe it was all a subconscious effort in a certain sense?
But if you could just look carefully and see, that wasn't a knockdown. If you look at right now, I flipped my foot and he didn't knock me down.
So you were in good enough shape to fight Douglas?
I wasn't in the shape I should have been in.
Right. And then recently when you talked before about Douglas being a disgrace in the fight against Holyfield, he wasn't in shape. I mean, you could say the same thing about yourself. I wasn't in shape when I fought Douglas myself.
Exactly.
Were you a disgrace, though? I don't
No,
think
not at all. But me, definitely. No doubt about it.
You were
Definitely.
disgraceful?
I mean, I walk it like I talk it. But you have to say, when a thoroughbred can go through a great deal of fights, regardless. Like, you look at these guys, you look at Gavilan, you look at Robertson, and you think about the situation, they lose to a certain guy that, and this guy he doesn't hold the title for a year or 2 years, you know what I mean? A guy that gets up for one particular night, you know what I mean, does very well. Don't consider him a great fighter because he beat a great fighter by no means. A great fighter, he's judged by how he accomplished himself as far as his longevity is concerned.
Right now, he is 39-1, still with 35 knockouts, still the youngest heavyweight champion ever. He's still just 24 years old. Mike Tyson comes back. We'll talk more at length about the Douglas fight. Hear what Douglas has to say about Tyson et al. Up close after this. Well, it's still the only blight on the career of Mike Tyson, the loss to Buster Douglas in Tokyo. We're going to listen to what Douglas had to say immediately in the euphoria after having beaten you when he was on our program. Let's look and listen to Buster Douglas.
I was in control of the fight. You know, I felt I was in control. I was doing the things that I wanted to do, and that was just be first and beat him to the punch and hit him often. You know, the main thing I was trying to do was hit Mike, because I felt that, you know, no one hit him. When they did hit him, they would just sit back and just be in awe, like they didn't really upset him. You know, they would get tense. But my whole point was just to continue to hit Mike. I mean, showing him that he was in there fighting a man. I know he didn't respect me, you know, and I was going in there to get that respect and to whoop him like I did.
If you could do it over again, obviously your technique would be different. You didn't bob and weave, you didn't move too much, or straight up target. What else would you have done differently? Would you have taken a little more?
Stopped him. He wouldn't have got up. It wouldn't have went that long.
Let's discuss the criticism of you guys, meaning you and Don and your camp, after the fight. First, you guys tried to overturn the loss to Douglas. That's within your rights, certainly. Then you demand a rematch. Then you demand to fight the Holyfield-Douglas winner. Then you try to stop Holyfield from fighting George Foreman, which you're in the process of doing right now. There are those, Mike, who have said it's as though you guys, all of you, don't feel that there's really any consequences to have lost to Douglas, that you guys are still handling it like you're the champ.
No, but you have to understand the situation. I never tried to, personally try to change the decision. I said, well, he had a decision. I was just basically saying what I thought was wrong as far as the long count for Douglas was concerned.
I know,
that's
but
what
the other things after the fight.
Well, I had an option that from 3 organizations to fight, you know what I mean, paper writing, we have them. And paper writing for me to be the mandatory defense from the winner of Douglas and Holyfield.
Right.
And then after that, it totally changed. I just want to know what happened from the time before he fought Douglas till after. Why did it change?
Right.
I was a mandatory challenger. Now why I wasn't? Now he's fighting Foreman.
Right. Does it bother you that you'll never get a chance to write it with Buster Douglas? Most likely. I don't think the public's going to buy that fight. I'm pretty sure you agree with me.
Yeah, but
that doesn't bother you that you'll never be able to put that in the record, hey, I got the guy back for beating me?
Well, then again, you never know. Anything's possible.
Yeah. I'm going to throw a soundbite at you from some guy that you've wanted to disassociate yourself from for some time. Kevin Rudy came on the show. Said some pretty tough things about you and your handlers. I want you to listen to what he said about your ethic in the ring and what's happened to you.
It all depends on Mike, how he's going to, if he wants to fight again. That's always been my question. Do you really want to fight anymore? Because you fought like you didn't want to fight. If he wants to fight and he goes out there and performs, he could become, great again after a few wins. But he's added he's given a lot of the enemy a lot of confidence now.
What he means, I guess, is that because of your loss, you're not the fighter you once were. You not buy that?
Well, not at all. You know what I mean? It's very easy for people that's not in the ring taking punches or anything like Ruddock could say this and that, but deep in his heart, he knows. And then on March 18th, he's going to even have a better, close view of it.
I want you to talk about some of the comments that have been made in a couple of major magazines. One of them is from Ring Magazine. The other one is from Boxing Illustrated. The first one we're going to take a look at is from Boxing Illustrated. This is this month. Larry Merchant. This is this month's George Foreman's on the cover. Larry Merchant talking about your makeup after the Customato Jimmy Jacobs era and how you've treated people, okay? I don't think everybody who comes out of the ghetto treats people that way. I think he has some emotional problems, Mike Tyson, some social problems. That's why he latched on to Don King. Everybody was prepared to love Mike Tyson, and Mike couldn't handle that. I think he's very smart, but very unsophisticated. He has a very difficult time handling people on a one-to-one basis where he is in control. Where was Don King, asks Larry Merchant, where was Don King when Mike Tyson was 13 years old? How many fighters has Don King taken out of the ghetto, out of the crummy gyms? None that I know of. Why is it necessary for Tyson to dump on everybody? It's not just what you do, it's how you do it.
But that isn't true. What he's saying isn't true. Who did I dump on?
Well, over the years, come on, you know. I mean, you've
Well,
dumped on
no,
everybody.
you tell me I
Bill
dumped on.
Caton, start with
No,
it.
but you didn't know the situation with Bill Caton. You know, Bill Caton was a lying, conniving, thieving manager. That was the situation. And just because I got involved with Don King and he put me aware to, we got enough proof that what Bill King, how he stole money, put it in a corporation.
All right, forget about Caton for a second. How about Steve Lott?
You can't forget about Caton because it's a fact. That's what he did.
All right,
you
how about
can't make
Steve Lott,
him
your
a good
friend?
guy. I never did anything to Steve Lott.
You fired him.
Huh?
You fired him.
He was with the enemy. He chose who he would rather be with.
How about Kevin?
What about Kevin? Was with the enemy as well. And if you with that, you either with me or against me. If you're not with me, you're against me. So you can't be around me.
We'll come back. More with Mike Tyson. We'll come back after this. Close. Is the reason you've left HBO, or one of the reasons, Larry Merchant, that you wanted him fired and they wouldn't fire him?
One of them, yeah. Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I didn't want him fired. I just didn't want him commentating my fights. That's not true. I didn't want him fired.
He's a boxing commentator.
Well,
for HBO.
not for my fight. He doesn't have to be. I have nothing against the other guys.
Lampley?
Lampley, no.
Was there an attempt by Don or any of your advisors to get him off the broadcast?
Off my fights, yes. From me.
And they wouldn't back down?
Absolutely.
And so you left and you went to Showtime?
Well, there was other things involved with it as well.
But that's one of the considerations.
Yeah.
Doesn't a man have a right to his opinion?
Well,
He's a journalist?
Well, that's true. But when that's my night, and you're just a commentator, which your significance doesn't have nothing compared to what I represent that particular night.
Mike, is he only supposed to say good things about you?
No, he's not supposed. But he's not supposed to say derogatory things, get involved and say personal things. You know what I mean? Which is not. So I said, well, I don't want to be involved with that.
Okay. I want you to discuss this Spike Lee piece. It's 3 months old now. It's old news, but there's a couple of things that are worth bringing back. Don has been on our show many times as a guest. He talked about the word nigger. He talked about it on our program. He also did it in the Spike Lee piece, about why he doesn't feel the word nigger is a pejorative, why it isn't, in his mind, a negative word. Here's Don King from a few years back.
You have to understand that in dealing with this here, if you're poor, you're a poor nigger. If you're rich, you're a rich nigger, but you never stop being a nigger. If you're educated, you're an educated nigger.
So now if you call yourself a nigger?
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Ain't no question, because I'm not going to give you any equivocation. I'm not going to give you any type of option. When I do it, you say the nigga did it. You understand? But it be usually from the white society, when a black does something, he either becomes a Bahamian or some other thing that other than that, or he's this, or some white is thinking for him. He can't do it himself because, as you know, the stereotype image of us in America is that we're lazy, lethargic, we're slowful, we can't rise to the occasion. You know that how we lie and all of us steal. So now with an apprenticeship like that, it's needless to get out of bed.
I think he's trying to paint a pretty broad picture, Mike. That
No, not at all. But he's basically saying, mostly when you represent the word nigger with something is always derogatory, you know, negative. And he's saying from everything that he accomplished, you know what I mean, he calls himself a nigger, there's no way you could say the word nigger is associated with all the bad and negative things you say, because everything he did was positive to
But you don't call
pinnacle.
yourself a nigger, do you?
Hey, can I tell you something? I use it from a totally different perspective as Don does. You know what I mean? I say it's because all my friends, we out here, we always talking, we're macking from my background, and we always use the word. And I don't understand why, I won't say you per se, but I don't understand why when you use that word in front of white society, they get upset. They gave us the name, and now they get upset when we say it.
Hey, Jeff Ryan just did a piece in the Ring magazine. What he said is, you got a lot of thanking to do to white people. You got a lot of thanking from people from Cuss to Camille to Steve Lott. Even if you may not agree with it, Jimmy Jacobs and all the people right down the line, that there's not enough thanks. There's a lot of saying, hey, the whitey did this, whitey did these days.
But I never
rhetoric.
said, but you're not saying anything properly, because I never said anything anti-white. I'm never saying anything anti-white. I just basically base my opinion of what society is, and that's true. You being Jew should know.
Right.
You know what I mean? You should know.
But don't you think that people these days, there's a lot of rhetoric wrapping itself up into this racial injustice, racism, waving the red flag, look out, this is a racist. There's too much of that going on.
Well, I believe that because it's not being brought out in the right content. You know what I mean? People use that for smoke screens. You know what I mean? Well, you know what I mean? It's hard on me because I'm black. I never said, well, it's tough being black. You know what I mean? It's tough being... That's not true.
Well, you say we should, blacks should move back to the neighborhood. When the point of fact, you live in Ohio
No,
now.
I never said that. I never said we should move back to the neighborhood. I said we should go back to the neighborhood, you know what I mean? And going to the neighborhood is sometimes tough because, like I would say, sometimes I go back to Brownsville sometime, and you have me, and I'm the heavyweight champ, you have me actually fighting sometime in the middle of the street because they're obnoxious childhood friends who, you know what I mean, you grew up with as brothers, and they're obnoxious, and you wind up and you think, what the hell's going on? Sometimes it's very difficult.
So you're glad you're out of the neighborhood sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely, but sometimes, you know, that's what your roots from. When you go down there and you see your friend and say, come on, man, let's go back, let's go to Beverly Hills with me, let's go where I come from, look where I'm living now, and enjoy it, and give them aspirations to you, come up here anytime. But I'm just saying from the point of view, as you know, most guys, they reach success, they don't want to see that. They don't want to go down there no more. They can't relate to it anymore.
That part I agree, definitely. We'll come back, some final thoughts with Mike after this.
Travel reigns through Continental. Whether you're taking off for a family vacation or a romantic getaway. Continental, because one airline can make a difference.
The real Mike Tyson is the ultimate dichotomy of strength and power, all rolled into a package combined with the other extreme, sensitivity and kindness. He's an amazing man. I always tease him and say, you talk like Michael Jackson and hit like Reggie Jackson.
Mike, he punches people. He punched me in the arm, like to say hi, and my arm hasn't been right, and I'm suing.
Oh, hi, Mike. Mike, I just wanted to apologize for mentioning the odor eaters. I just figured, you know, without socks and stuff, the guys at the gym have been talking, and I thought maybe those sneaker tamers or something in the shoes would have helped, and I didn't expect you to get angry. The funny thing is, all he did was shake my hand, and this happened, but what the heck? A punch thrown by Razor Ruddock knocked out Bone Crusher Smith for 7 minutes. Mike Tyson couldn't even knock Smith down. Another punch laid out Michael Dokes for 12 minutes. Dokes may never fight again. A lot of fighters won't get in the ring with Ruddock, but then who in their right mind would? Tyson versus Ruddock, live from the Mirage, March 18th. See it on pay-per-view cable TV.
I was proudest of is having a chance to see Mike at home and spending some time with him. The stories go that you give $100 out to derelicts on the street. You're a little embarrassed by those stories. I know that there is the heart of the champion beyond the champion in the ring. What I want to talk about you, though, right now is Mike Tyson with the kids that you work with, the retarded kids in New York City, Jim Bouton's group, and here they are. I know you spend a lot of time with these young people, and that this is not something that goes reported.
You know, I mean, what can you say? You know, I mean, how can you, how can I say this? How could you stand out and boast and want credit for it? You know what I mean? You know, it's just,
except that, Mike, people don't know this side of you. Maybe you should get the credit for this.
well, yeah, no, there's no need for, you know what I mean? I'm the kind of person, you know what I mean, don't know me for what kind of individual I am. Just know me for what I do. What you know me for is being a fighter. Just know me for that and respect me as that. You know what I mean? My main concern in life in general is not what any commentator says or anybody basically say that works in any kind of office and say, oh, I didn't like that. My basic concern is what my peers think of me. You know what I mean? The other fighters. You know what I mean? Because they understand what it takes to reach that pinnacle of success. You know what I mean? This is something, you know what I mean? What the hell? You know what I mean? It wasn't always like this for me. You know what I mean? We've seen bad things happen. You know what I mean? What, like you say, these people that they're crucified and they never even made a crime.
Basically, I still believe that you're really a good person, no matter what anyone says. Not that it matters what I say about all of this, but over the years, it's been great talking to you and chronicling your career. It's been a hell of a career.
Yeah, and I still think the best show I ever saw is 2 shows. One with you and your father, and you and Bobby Cheds. The best show that you ever had.
Well, these have been some pretty good ones, too. Thanks, Mike. Congratulations. Best of luck now on the road back, March 18th against
I'll be
Razor.
okay.
Yeah. We'll come back, wrap things up close after this. We want to thank our guest, Mike Tyson, for joining us. Tomorrow, Don McLean at UCLA. They're heading to the NCAA. See you then. Bye-bye.
Desert, Tyson is sharpening his skills, looking to make Razor Ruddock another punching bag.
Welcome back to SportsCenter. Iron Mike and the Razor. Tyson against Ruddock, Monday night in Las Vegas. Not only are these heavy-hitting heavyweights ready to duke it out in the desert, you can count on the other givens at such a scene. The man with the hair and our man with the beard. Here's Charlie Steiner.
Thank you and welcome back to the Mirage in Las Vegas, where the final news conference took place today. It was a good news, bad news proposition. The good news was Don King had laryngitis.
You have to indulge me a little bit because my voice is going. I've been talking so much. I know you would love that.
The bad news was it didn't stop Don King and his co-promoter Murad Muhammad from talking. And talking.
Transmit.
And talking.
Transfer his right to make a decision, his right to make a decision.
I thought it was never going to end.
The only real question of the day was the lack of sparring recently by Razor Ruddock. Was it a hand injury? Was it a matter of peaking too soon? What exactly was it?
We did a lot of sparring in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. We have close to 100 rounds of sparring. So when we came into Vegas, we were already prepared. So, you know, we are the one that training and we are the one that run the camp. And a lot of reporters, they're not trainers, they're reporters.
As usual, Mike Tyson didn't have much to say at this affair. As usual, he lets his fists do the talking.
Well, there's not much I can say. I'm just in great shape and I'm prepared to fight. And he made his opinion what he's going to do. I have totally different. And come, because I'm sure you'll like this, because I'm going to like this very much. Thank you.
Which is why Mike Tyson is listed a 5-to-1 favorite to beat Donovan Razor Ruddock on Monday night here at the Mirage. A reminder, tomorrow night on our 11 o'clock Eastern Time edition of SportsCenter, our Sunday night conversation is with Mike Tyson. And there he speaks a whole lot more than he did today. For now, I'm Charlie Steiner at the Mirage in Las Vegas. Let's go back to SportsCenter.
All right, Charles, thank you very much. And not only will that be Sunday night, also on Sunday Sports Day. So here Mike Tyson, as he said, you hear him like you've never heard him before, both in the morning and the evening here on ESPN. Round-by-round updates. Monday night during the NAIA Championship game. And after the fight at SportsCenter, Charles will have both Evander Holyfield and George Foreman live. So telescopic coverage. We're out there on the Tyson-Ruddock fight. Tommy?
Mike Tyson and Razor Ruddock get it on for what effectively is a heavyweight elimination tournament. The winner will get a piece of either George Foreman or Evander Holyfield, more than likely sometime later in the year. One thing about Mike Tyson, who continues to be one of the most compelling personalities in all of sports, he is one intimidating character. Every fighter who goes in against Mike Tyson says he can beat him. Suddenly, though, come fight night, as he enters the ring, the eyeballs kind of enlarge, and so does the Adam's apple, and the knees begin to quiver. Mike Tyson is an intimidator.
My best way of psychological intimidation is by a physical force. Someone upsets Mike Tyson punches him in the face.
Mike Tyson, who continues to be a 5-to-1 favorite in tomorrow night's fight, which will take place a little more than 24 hours from now here at the Mirage in Las Vegas. Coming up tonight on the 11 o'clock Eastern Time edition of Sports Center, the 1-hour edition, the Sunday Night Conversation is with mighty Mike Tyson. I'm Charlie Steiner at the Mirage, now with a cross-country bounce pass back to our studio.
Ruddock. Razor Ruddock. 10 straight knockouts. Big left hand, too. Almost killed Michael Dobbs. Everybody's saying I'm making a big mistake. Tokyo. Ruddock. Ruddock.
Tyson versus Ruddock. Live from the Mirage, March 18th. See it on pay-per-view cable TV.
You only scare people from hitting them. You don't scare them from just looking at them and marking them down and tracking them. You have to hit them. That's when they come intimidated. They're not intimidated. Once they get hit, then they become intimidated.
Our weekly magazine of boxing news, brought to you tonight by Ace Hardware Corporation. Ace is the place. And welcome back to Bally's. We are joined now by Charlie Steiner, who of course you all know from ESPN Sports Center, and a man on the scene at all the big fights. Speaking of which, Charlie, where do you put this Tyson-Ruddock fight amongst all the great fights? Are people really excited about this event?
I think they made a tactical blunder in planning the fight in the middle of the NCAA tournament. So there is some excitement being generated in town now, Barry, but it's a last-minute thing because all weekend long, all we've been seeing on television, the NCAAs, that's all we read about in the newspapers. Tomorrow is going to be fight day and fight night. Whether or not that's going to make it a great event certainly has not had the build-up of some of the others.
Well, if anything is going to make it a great event, it probably won't be a weigh-in. But they had one today. They have to have one. And it was kind of interesting to see the condition that Mike Tyson and Razor Ruddock came into for this bout.
Both men were in superb condition. Razor Ruddock was the first man to step on the scales today. He weighed in at precisely the place where he wanted to be, 228 pounds. You know, there was an awful lot of talk that he had not been sparring over the past 2 weeks, and the right hand was perhaps injured. He told me after the weigh-in, would you like to try the right hand? I said, well, thank you. But he's actually in terrific shape, and he appeared to be mentally very sharp and ready to go.
Yeah, if fitness wins fights, then you might say Razor Ruddock has a real chance in this fight. And Mike Tyson, I'll tell you, I've seen him for a lot of fights, Charlie. He looks as good as I've ever seen him look.
And also, again, psychologically, he seems to be so at ease now. And I think we've talked about it both on and off the air over the years, certainly over the past year at any rate. The best thing in the world that may have ever happened to Mike Tyson was losing to Buster Douglas, because now he knows he has to work for a living. He can't just show up, and he is in terrific shape at 217.
You talk about his being loose, and I think any of you who watch SportsCenter right after Top Rank Boxing Night are going to get a good idea as to just how loose he is. Charlie Steiner sat down, had a long talk with him. Here's just a part, Mike talking about intimidation.
My best way of psychological intimidation is by a physical force. You know, I mean, of course, the guys, you can talk, but the only real reality is when you get hit. That's the only real reality there, once you get hit.
I'm more motivated because it's Mike Tyson. I'm more motivated because he's one of a kind, and he's the only guy that can bring me to this level that he said he can beat me, and I know I can beat him. That's what I feel. And that's what gives me the motivation, to know that when he walks in the ring, it's going to be a war.
All right, Charlie, you've been around this fight now for the better part of this last week. How do you see it?
I see this very much like a Super Bowl. Mike Tyson is a team that's been there before. He's facing a team that hasn't been at the event stage before. If Razor Ruddock can get through the first 3 rounds, it's going to be terrific. I'm not sure he can.
Charlie, thanks for being with us.
See you tomorrow
And watch the interview. Outstanding interview with Mike Tyson. That's on SportsCenter right after Top Rank Boxing. If anybody cares about the Tyson-Ruddock fight, we care. Let's talk about it. How do you see it?
Well, I think it's going to be a very intriguing matchup, and I think it's possible that for as long as it goes, Barry, it could be a pretty wild affair. I have a feeling that Ruddock may hit him with a left uppercut or left half hook uppercut and maybe get Mike Tyson's respect a little bit early in the bout. But Tyson will come and keep coming. And the big wild card is whether that Ruddock right hand is bothering him. Personally, I think it must be. They've sparred so little in the last couple of weeks, and I think that could hinder him.
You know, I keep hearing things like, if Ruddock can do this and if Ruddock can do that. And when I hear things like that, those are buzzwords to me. Those say, we're trying to make a case, we're trying to sell this guy. Frankly, I really sort of think that this is kind of a mismatch. I think it's Mike Tyson, I think it's Mike Tyson early, and I think it's Mike Tyson convincingly. But what do I know?
Hi, and welcome to the Mirage in Las Vegas. Charlie Steiner in the room in which 7 hours ago, Donovan Razor Ruddock and Mike Tyson weighed in for tomorrow night's fight, which will take place about 24 hours from right now. We'll tell you about our coverage for tomorrow night a little bit later. First, let's tell you about today's weigh-in. And Donovan Razor Ruddock was the first to step on the scale. Of course, Donovan Razor Ruddock, by way of Jamaica, now lives in Toronto, weighed in exactly where he wanted to be, at 228 pounds, and his hand, he says, is okay. Much has been made about the doubts, not sparring down the home stretch, possibility of perhaps an injury to your right hand. You have an opportunity to tell the world how you're feeling.
Do you want to feel the right hand?
Not right now, thank you.
Oh, okay, well, it's good. It's good. The doctor checked me out and they find out it's good.
And then there was Mike Tyson, who is fit psychologically and physically. He weighed in at 217 pounds, and he is primed and ready to go. Mike, what is your reaction to your weight? You clearly were happy at 217.
I'm just in great shape, and I'm prepared for the fight. Can't wait till tomorrow night.
Any feelings one way or the other toward Donovan Razor Ruddock at this point?
Nothing personal, just business. I'm going to like this very much tonight. Very much.
Just business. Donovan Razor Ruddock is got about 4 inches in height and about 9 inches in reach. And for that reason, Ruddock and his camp feel reasonably optimistic about the outcome tomorrow night. But the story clearly is Iron Mike Tyson. Of course, he prefers to go by Mighty Mike Tyson now, and he is the star of the show. Make no mistake about that. This is, in effect, a heavyweight elimination tournament. Tomorrow night's winner more than likely will meet the winner of the Holyfield-Foreman fight sometime later in the year. But again, Mike Tyson is the story. And one of the things that we have learned about Mike Tyson in recent weeks, he is new, he is improved, and he is certainly a more mature and relaxed man and fighter, perhaps more so than ever before, as we found out in our Sunday night conversation.
My best way of psychological termination is by a physical force. Someone upsets Mike Tyson punches him in the face.
When you say those things with the violence behind them, I mean, that sense of intimidation, do you do that by design? I mean, clearly, there's no question, Mike, the guys come into the ring and they are scared to death.
You only scare people from hitting them. You don't scare them from just looking at them and marking them down and tracking them. I mean, you have to hit them. That's when they come intimidated. They're not intimidated. Once they get hit, then they become intimidated.
What did you think about Ray? It's the end of the line, the career he had, and what thoughts did you have about?
I just got very emotional, and it hurt me very bad to see that. I didn't like seeing that.
Why?
I remember it was probably what 79. He fought Benitez, and I was in a reformatory for bad boys, and it was just a highlight for me to watch this. Like when I say I was 12 years old when he won a title, when he first won a title, and see he was still champion. He's still a champion when I was champion. You admire the guy, and it hurts you when you see him go down, you see him get hit. Even though in a way, you guys are both fighters and you understand the game, you know, you feel the punches. You just do, because of the admiration. You just feel, I don't know, I can't explain it, really, to be honest. I can't explain it, but I just know I felt hurt, I felt the pain.
Why are you out running 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and not later in the day? Or why do fighters do that?
Because I don't want to do it. You know, I mean, just the discipline to do things that you don't want to do. I think I want to get up before and run. I want to get up, and sometimes I get up and run, I see guys, and I like to hang out. I see people in the car, they party, they came from partying and hanging out. I'm like, wow. They're having fun in that car. You see a guy with his girl in the back, they got crazy. And I said, God, this guy's they're having fun, and I'm running. I told my friends, yo, I'll be right out there.
What makes the King-Tyson relationship click?
I was in a bad situation in which he helped out, and I felt indebted to him. And then we got to know each other, and we were very good friends.
So it's more than just a business relationship?
Absolutely. Basically, he's just like anyone else. He's a father, he has children, he loves his grandkids, and he's happy. And he's happy, his life's very successful, and he's done a lot for me financially, and helped me enhance a great deal of money, you know, I mean, which isn't a big issue, but it's helpful when you're living in this country. So I wasn't the toughest kid in my neighborhood by far. A long line of a bunch of guys ahead of me. I never was an athlete as a child. I was never an athlete. I wasn't athletic. I didn't play any sports. Everybody wanted to play basketball and play softball on Sundays and stuff. I said, come on, man, let's get some money, man. Later for that. They don't want to play no sports.
You played your own sport.
Yeah. Our whole motto wasn't about how tough you were and how good you could fight. It was how much money you had in your pocket. That was our whole issue, you know. I mean, we wanted to look nice, dress nice. I mean, we were looking nice. We didn't want to fight anyway, but we had to fight because guys would get mad because we looked nice and try to take our stuff. But we didn't want to fight. We just wanted to look nice and be decent people. People wanted to talk well. People wanted to look nice. You know what I mean?
12 years ago, Mike Tyson was in a juvenile home. A half a life later, Tyson has several homes, including this condo in Las Vegas. He grew up wanting money and nice clothes. And now he's got them, too. There's always talk about Mike Tyson and all the money he's made. And when you hear and read that stuff, what do you think? Is that something that you just wish would go away? It was nobody's business, or?
It really isn't no one's business. But what the hell? I mean, what can you do? You know what I mean? It's the hardest thing in the world to do is to count someone else's money.
The only thing harder, I think, is counting your own.
And that's not too hard.
No.
You can never think, because once you think, you lose time.
Now, what was the story behind the Rolls-Royce coronation, the fact that you didn't like your Ferrari? Tell me the story. I mean, that's one of those stories you read in the papers and say, wow.
That's blown out of proportion. This is what happened.
Okay.
I was riding a car which was a stick. It was a Ferrari, and it was a stick. And I was driving it fast, and I was driving it for a long time, perhaps 3 hours, and it started idling. And when it started idling, it was upsetting me. You know, you stopped the tolls and I was upset. So I was listening. I said, God, I had my friend at the time. She called, I said, call this place and ask them what kind of card they have. And they were telling me what kind of card. And they said, this is how, this is going to, hello, how's the car? How much it cost? All right, what? $200,000? It cost $200,000, it's a blue and white rose. I said, well, you got to come out with a better deal, because I'm hungry as well. And I'm going in and I said, well, it got to be a better deal. Not thinking that, I'm really not negotiating. I'm just thinking spontaneously. We got to do a better deal. Then I got the price down to what I wanted. Then I just went and I bought the car, and then I took the Ferrari, left the house, and then I went home.
Yeah, I'm glad you told the story, because, you know, it's one of those that we had read in the papers and never really got a sense of.
Because if you it's from reading it, you think, oh, this guy's an idiot. What, he dropped it, drop a car. You leave this car here, and all right, I take this car. Wow, like some dumb psychotic kid. Wow, with cash. Yeah, like Richie Rich. Wow, look at this.
Word association. Buster Douglas.
I don't know what to say about him. I don't know much about him. He fought a good fight one night.
Donovan Razor Ruddock.
Been for a bad night, March 18th.
Evander Holyfield.
Good fighter.
Bill Caton.
Bad experience ever being involved with him. Evil, wicked, but very smart.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah. He's a hell of a fighter. We haven't seen the best of him yet.
24 hours from now, you will see our coverage of the post-fight extravaganza involving Donovan Razor Ruddock and Iron Mike Tyson. Of course, as the fight is progressing, we will have round-by-round reports, and during our post-fight coverage, we'll have conversations live with Evander Holyfield and George Foreman. That's going to do it for us tonight here at the Mirage in Las Vegas. I'm Charlie Steiner for the entire crew. We will see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, and then the post-fight coverage, which commences at about 11:30 Eastern Time. Sports Center, back in a minute.
Sunday's Conversation is brought to you by Ford Motor Company, where quality is job one.